Hey, welcome everybody to today's morning meeting. Excited to be with you today. We've got a very cool topic. We're going to talk a little bit about why agents are not converting leads from everything they're generating online, whether they're buying leads, they're generating their own. They are not doing a good job of converting them. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. I really think today's going to be a big topic for you, because we are going to talk about that conversion process. Might even do a little bit of kind of a role play, I guess a one-person role play, to show you the languaging that you should be using in order to get an appointment with the leads that you generate. For so many realtors, they're realtors or real estate agents. I guess we better clarify that here with the coming changes. But for so many of these agents, they get conversations going and they get ghosted. They don't get an appointment. They don't get a phone call. They don't get virtually anything out of these leads. And after a while, you do that for a while, you think the leads are no good. It might be your approach. Today, I want to show you a better approach. I want to give you 3 different options that you can utilize. So you'll want to make sure that you are paying attention here. One of the benefits of following this channel and ringing the bell, turning on notifications so that you get notified every time we go live, is I have tons and tons of content for you. Today, you're going to see 3 individual responses that are working very well for you to get your desired goal, which is meeting with these clients. I'm going to show you some examples of bad conversion approaches and how they can change that to get that desired result. Do me a favor, leave your city and state in the comments section right here. Many of you know we've got a huge network of real estate agents, and obviously we like to refer business to each other. So let me know the city and state right here in the comments. Where do you sell real estate? And we're going to jump right into it here. I wanted to make sure everything is working correctly. And I think we are in good shape. So you are going to want to take some notes on this today, but I really want you to think through the mental process of what happens when you get an online lead and that online lead is interested in some way. Where do you usually lose them? Where does it go cold when you're having a conversation with them? So maybe they were interested in a listing that you had. Maybe they were interested in a service that you offered. For many of you that are in our coaching program, if you're an Inner Circle member, we're offering the Perfect Home Finder program. Get access to unlisted and pre-market homes before they ever hit the open market. Of course, we have the marketing ability to go out and find those properties. These are not pocket listings because the seller did not agree to list it with us. They agreed to pay us if we sell it to that buyer. It's not a listing at all. So there is no listing that's being hidden, but we can find properties. For sale by owner is an example that's not listed. We can find homeowners that don't have a sign in their yard at all. Because we have the good marketing to generate that business. Now, what I want you to think about here is, where do you customarily lose that prospect? I want you to think back to all of the leads you've generated, whether it's Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, your brokerage gave you some, you got some from your website, Commissions Inc., whatever it is. Whenever you get these leads, even if you can engage them in a conversation, let's say it's email back and forth or it's text message back and forth, where do you usually see them drop off? Somebody let me know in the comments here. In the comments, let me know, where do you usually see them drop off? So we had a conversation. Yeah, I can get you access to unlisted homes. Is this something you'd be interested in? Yeah, that sounds great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, great. When would be a good time for us to talk on the phone so I can get you started? That's where you usually lose them. Do we all agree with that? When you ask for an appointment, whether it's over the phone or face-to-face, that's when you lose them. Well, I want you to think about why that is. Put yourself in the prospect's shoes for a minute here. They're trying to get information on the internet. They're not trying to meet with you. They don't want to get to know you. They don't care what you have to offer. They're looking for houses, not people. They're looking for homes, not representation. I mean, you got to think about this for a minute, because I'll show you how we'll meet with them. But you have to understand that great conversation back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And as soon as you say, can we talk on the phone? They disappear. That does not mean they're not motivated. That means they don't want to do what you're trying to do, which is to close them, because it feels like you're closing them. What if instead of I'll give you an example. So the first example I have here, I saw some screenshots where agents are running ads on Facebook Marketplace because that's free. And of course, the button that the buyer clicks, they have to click a button to start a conversation in Facebook Messenger. And the button automatically says, is this still available? So when they click the button, you get a message that just says, is this still available? Now, a lot of agents are like, why does everybody say, is this still available? And then I never hear from them again. Well, they just clicked the button, but then they didn't like your response. So the worst response I've seen, is this still available? Yes. Would you like to see it? That's literally what an agent said. Wonders why nobody, hey, would you like to sleep with me? As soon as you see somebody in a bar, probably a bad idea. So when someone just says, is it still available? In reality, that may not be the question they have about that house, but they have to open the dialogue for you to say, yes, would you like to come meet me? Yes, would you like to see it? Yes, when's a good time for you to see the home? You're closing way too hard. I want you to be helpful for these prospects, but I want it to almost seem like an inconvenience, but you really want to help. I don't really have time to do this, but I'd love to help you guys. What if we changed it up that way? I'm going to give you some examples. I really think you're going to love this because you'll see the difference in how you can do a better job of converting someone. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you some examples, or I'm going to read some examples of what buyer said and what the agent said. And I want you to think, is this something I would do? What would I say differently? So as an example, if you run an ad on Marketplace, or let's say you run it on Facebook, or you get any type of lead on your listing and they say, is this still available? Or what's the price? Or anything like that. What would be your normal response? And by the way, if nobody's around you, say it out loud. I promise it'll help you. Say it out loud. Nobody knows. Do it right now. Is this still available? Speak whatever you would usually type. How does that sound to you? Does it sound good? Does it sound compelling enough for them to want to do whatever you're trying to get them to do? Saying something like, yes, would you like to see it? Bad idea. That's not going to get you there. Well, I saw another response that was a little bit better. Let me show you what the role play was on that. Is this still available? Yes, I can also get you access to unlisted and pre-market homes before they make it to the open market. Is that something you'd be interested in? Now think about that for a minute. Okay, now we've got some leads coming in, but we're sweetening the pot. So we're saying something like, and I'll read his exact words again. Yes, it is still available, and I can also get you access to unlisted and pre-market homes before they make it to the open market. Is that something you'd be interested in? What do you think the prospect said? What do you think the prospect said when he asked that question? One word. Yes. Is that something you'd be interested in? Yes. You know what the agent said after that? Okay, great. When can we talk on the phone? And never heard from the prospect again. Do you think that means they're not motivated? Or do you think that means they don't want to be closed by you? They know this routine. This is not, they're just not I'm looking on the internet, man. I'm not trying to talk to you on the phone. I hate talking on the phone. Think about this. You had them on the hook and you let them get off the hook because you said something silly like, great, when's a good time for us to talk? Great, when's a good time for us to get together? Awesome, I'd love to get to know you a little bit. I want you to know me and me to know you, and that way we know we can work together. And no, what are you talking about? Why would you try to convert a prospect that way? You see, this is one of the things that nobody's teaching right now. The vast majority of coaches out there are teaching you to try to spend more time on the phone, to try to cold call people, to try to talk to them in their least desired communication device, their cell phone. It's the least desirable way for them to communicate. They don't like it. What percentage of buyers do you think start on the internet? I'll give you a hint. It's a 3-digit number. What percentage of buyers start their search on the internet and would prefer to get everything on the internet? And I don't want to hear this crap about if they're serious, they'll talk to me on the phone. They must not be motivated. I myself, Greg Luther, one of my businesses here, Greg Luther Enterprises, is buying properties for cash all over the United States of America. And I'm telling you, every single one of the agents that I'm buying homes with will tell you they never had a phone conversation with me. Never. That when we close the deal and the title company says, well, we need to speak with Greg, you're not going to talk to Greg on the phone. You will email him. Well, he has to confirm, he has to call the title company because of wire fraud. We won't give him the wiring instructions unless we talk to him on the phone. Then you're not closing the deal. He will not talk to you on the phone. And we are closing deals all over the country, and I never have a conversation with a real estate agent. So what makes you think that buyers have to have a conversation with you, have to meet with you, have to do any of those things? We can get to that point, but you got to find a roundabout way. Because, by the way, I do want you to talk to him on the phone. I do want you to meet him in person. But the last thing you want to do is ask them that, particularly, is this still available? When would you like to meet? Like, that's a horrible way of going for the close. You're going for the kill. You're trying to close them on this transaction. So I'll give you some other ones here. The buyer said, and I'm just looking at screenshots I've printed off and kind of fixed the spelling and all that stuff. The buyer said, you can get me access to unlisted homes. That's all he said. So he's seen the ads that our Inner Circle members are running, that we can get him access to unlisted and pre-market homes and all of that. So a buyer just replied with these 7 words. You can get me access to unlisted homes? Here's what the agent said. Yes, with our Perfect Home Finder program, we can get you access to unlisted and pre-market homes. Essentially, you tell us what you're looking for, clear down to area, price, neighborhood, school district, or amenities. Our team will then use a proprietary marketing approach to find sellers that match exactly what you're looking for, but they're not yet publicly listed. You get to go look at the homes directly before it's listed, and you will be the very first potential buyer to know about the homes. That gets you better access to better houses, and it means you'll never be in a multiple offer situation. Is that something you'd be interested in? Dude, that sounds awesome. That sounds great. We're going in the right direction. I know this is going to be a closed deal. He's saying it the right way. He's following the scripts I teach for all of our Inner Circle coaching members. He's doing everything the right way. Let's see if he continues. The buyer says, yes, that sounds perfect. And the agent says, great. When's a good time for us to have a 5-minute phone call? And never hears from the buyer again. The buyer wants what you offer. They don't want it in the way in which you're offering it. Think about that for a minute. The buyer wants what you offer. They don't want it in the way in which you're offering it, the hoops you're trying to make them jump through, the salesperson that's trying to close them. All you're trying to do is pick up a client. What do you want, a commission? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a house. Now, again, I know that's what we're going to do, but you have to have a little finesse here to show them you're truly trying to help them. Your primary focus is to help that home buyer. You do want to represent them, but don't ask silly questions like, do you have somebody to represent you? They don't even know that they need that right now. So you have to really think through what you're saying. Let's try another one. The buyer said, how can I get access to homes before they hit the open market? Now, that was a continuation of, we've written 5 offers. There's been multiple offers. We got beat out every time. We even included an offer that was $10,000 over asking price and still didn't get the home. We're tired of looking at the leftover stuff online. Can you tell us how to get? So the shortened version is, how can I get access to homes before they hit the open market? Here's what the agent said. That's our Perfect Home Finder program. Once we know exactly what you're looking for, our marketing team will go out and find unlisted homes where the seller is willing to sell, but not yet listed. We invest our own marketing dollars to find the perfect home for you. How does that sound? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see if he can close this deal. It sounds perfect. So I just tell you what I'm looking for then? That's what the buyer said, okay? Made the offer. Sounds a whole lot better than when would you like to see it, right? Made the offer, and the buyer literally said, that's perfect. So I just tell you what I'm looking for then? Let's see if the agent closes it. Yes, we would meet so we can get to know each other and I can find out what you're looking for. And that way we know if we'd be comfortable working together. What number can I reach you at to discuss? Dead. You are getting ghosted because you are dead to them. They ghosted you because you were trying to close too hard. Now, I know that's where we want to go. So you might be thinking, well, Greg, that's what we have to do. We have to talk to him on the phone. We have to meet him in person. It's the only way we can do business. Well, you can't close the deal that way. You have to have a little more tact. You have to have the scripts and the dialogues that you will utilize in order to get to that point. How many of you can relate with this, that you see this happening in your own business? Let me know in the comments here. How many of you are seeing this happen in your own business, that you get a conversation going, but then as soon as you try to push them forward a little bit, they seem to disappear and they ghost you? Have you seen this happen yourself? Because if you haven't seen it, I won't tell you how to fix this. There's no sense in us going through the training if you haven't seen that. But what I found, for thousands of agents around the country, they'll say, Greg, your script's working great to get me tons of leads, but none of these damn leads will convert. And I'll say, send me the screenshots. Every time, this is why it's dying. Why don't you look like, for a lot of agents, they said, Greg, I got 20 screenshots like you asked me to. I see exactly every single time I say this, that's where I'm losing them. Well, here's a good coaching tip. Fix that. What a genius Greg is. Oh my gosh. He said, find out where you're messing up and don't mess up there anymore. What a great coach he is. Dude, you see 20 for 20. You said, sure, I can do that. When's a good time for us to get together? And you lose them. Stop saying that. Sure, I can do that. Let's have a 5-minute phone call. And then you lose them. Stop saying that. Let's find a better approach. Now, that worked back in the day because we were the gatekeeper. We had an MLS book. Hell, they had to either come to our office to see an MLS book or go to open houses to get an idea of the market. That changed when NAR sold us out to Realtor.com, put everything out, and then syndicated all the third parties, and then Zillow doing the same thing. They know the price. They know how much the seller paid for it when they bought it. They know the comps. They know what the property taxes are. They know what school district it's in. They can even check the area for sexual predators. They can do everything on their own. They really don't need you for any of that stuff. So the internet replaced the need for, ooh, here's a real estate agent that'll represent me. That sounds great. So the harder you try to close them, the more they'll say, nope, I'll just go back to getting all of the info on the internet. Thank you, though. No offense to you. I don't necessarily need an agent to help me because I got all this stuff. So how do we fix that? Because, by the way, continuing that screenshot there, that sounds perfect. So I can just tell you what I'm looking for then? The agent said, yes, we would meet. So I told you all of that, right? I want to get to know you, that type of thing. What's a number I can reach you at to discuss? You know what the buyer replied? They usually don't reply at all. This one replied. He said, or I'm sorry, she said, can't I just tell you what I'm looking for? Why would we need to meet? That's actually a valid question. Well, if we meet, I can find out what I can tell you that now. Well, we can get you pre-approved. We can do that now. Well, I can get a copy of I can send it to you right now. Well, we can get to know each other. I don't really want to know. What are you talking about? I know that's what you want to get to, but you can't present it that way. Does that make sense? So for so many agents, and I'm telling you, if you've seen this happen over and over and over with your leads, if we can make that one little adjustment, you're going to start closing a lot more houses. Give me a little heart or a thumbs up or a whatever here if you agree that's the case. If I can get literally the magic script, I'm going to give you 3 of them here. I will be able to have more conversations, more face-to-face meetings, and ultimately close more deals. That's what I want you to do. You will be sharing this with other agents that you know. You're going to take the browser bar at the top of YouTube here. You're going to hit copy, paste, and you're going to give it to every agent you know because you will see that this is exactly how you convert a higher number of prospects. What I want to do, and I want you to think about this mindset for a minute. This is, I hate to call it takeaway selling because people think that's kind of shady, but like that's, I don't know of a better term for it. That's literally how it works. If there's only 100 of these made, it's worth more money as opposed to, we'll just make some more of them, right? That is takeaway selling. It's, look, either you want it or you don't, but there's plenty of people that do want it. Let me ask you, what percentage of buyers right now are frustrated they can't find what they want? They hate all the junk inventory that's left over on the internet, and they'd love to get access to unlisted homes. What percentage? That too is a 3-digit number. It's very desirable if you know how to present it. So what I want you to do is I want you to convert this to, you are there to help them out. Okay. You are there to help them out, but you're busy right now. You don't have a lot of time to be doing this. Here's a better, so all of these, is this still available? You can get me access to unlisted homes. How can I get access to homes before they hit the open market? All of those questions you would get. Here is a better response for you to utilize. And I'll give you 3 versions of it. They all say the same thing, but I want you to listen to this. So they said, you can get me access to unlisted homes. And I go through that whole pitch there where here's how it works. We'll get you access. We have a marketing team that will go out and find sellers that are willing to sell, that are not yet listed. You can be the first one to know about it. Does that sound interesting to you? So that's the pitch, that's the get them interested at first. Get them to opt in. Yes. I'd love to get info on that. Here's the follow-up. Because you remember how every one of these agents, they're saying it the right way, and the person says yes, but then they go for the kill, and that's where they disappear. You can give a great presentation on how your service works and get them to say yes, but as soon as you try to close for, when's a good time for us to talk so that I can close you, which is what they're hearing, that's where you lose them. Listen to this. Does that sound good? Yes, that sounds like it's exactly what we're looking for. Do I just give you the info over the phone? Do I just email you here what I'm looking for in the home? Whatever it is that they would say, here's a good response. This is from the agent to the buyer. Listen to this. Well, that's part of the problem. Of course, everyone wants access to this to find the type of home that they're looking for. There's just junk leftover homes on the open market. Unfortunately, our broker wants us to meet with every potential home buyer to get them signed up, but I'm just far too busy to be able to do that right now. I want to get you access, though, so you can start looking at better homes matching what you want. I suppose I could do a quick Zoom video or even a phone call, and that would count as a meeting if that works for you. Look at the downsell there. The way we're supposed to meet it is I meet you face to face, but I'm too damn busy. You know what? I guess I can do a quick phone call with you. You'd be shocked how people, oh, I don't have to go through that pain? Okay, I'll take this little bit of pain. Let me give you another version 2. And I'll load this on the coaching members website too for all you Inner Circle members so you can copy and paste them. Here's another one. So I just tell you what I'm looking for? Well, there's good news and bad news. Yes, we can get access to unlisted and pre-market homes. But unfortunately, with the inventory of publicly listed homes being so low, we are just swarmed with buyers wanting access. Literally, no appointments available. Our broker wants us to meet potential home buyers in person and then start the marketing to find homes for them, but we're just swamped. I suppose a quick Zoom video or even a phone call would count as a meeting, and I can find out a little more about exactly what you're looking for and potential timing or needs. Does that work for you instead of meeting in person? Think about this, guys. My broker wants me to meet you in person, but I'm so freaking swamped right now. I could meet with you on the phone real quick if that works for you. Would that work for you instead of meeting in person? Yeah, that sounds a lot better than meeting in person. Here's my number. You can get me access, and all I got to do is talk to you on the phone. It sounds so much better now. Do you guys see the difference there? Tell me what you think about this. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? Do you agree that that's a lot less painful than going out and meeting a realtor? And now the realtor is willing to kind of, let's keep it our little secret. I'm not going to meet you in person, but if I can have a quick Zoom video with you, if I can have a quick phone call with you, I'll find out what you're looking for, and we'll get you started here. That is how you get them to know who you are, your personality, your voice, how much you can help them, and build that value. They're going to meet you. You're going to go show homes. But you're sounding better. Let me give you a third one. Let me give you a third option. You guys are going to get this on the member site. Copy and paste it exactly. Make it your own language. Do whatever you want to do. Here's the third one. So I just tell you what I'm looking for on email here, and you'll get me the homes then? Well, we might need to create a little workaround for you here so you can see the pre-market properties. Our broker wants us to meet potential home buyers in person before getting them access, but with the quality of publicly listed homes being so low, of course, we're swarmed with interested buyers. I simply can't find time to meet in person here. But I want you to get access so you can see perfect matches. I suppose a quick Zoom video or even a phone call would work. I can get details from you on exactly what you want, and we'll show you how we can get you access. It only takes about 5 minutes if you're okay with that instead of meeting in person. Dude, this closes like you would not believe. If you were utilizing this on all of the leads you've generated over the years, I'm telling you, we're saying this is going to be incredibly painful. Would you rather just do this? It is so much better than saying, hey, do you want this little bit of pain? Nope, I don't want no pain at all. So if we can show them they're getting that benefit, you win. Now, I think we'll all agree that your broker wants you to meet everybody in person. Every agent on here has always tried to meet them in person. Well, I want to get to know you. I want to know how we can make this work. I want to get to know each other so that we can decide if we want to work together. That is true. However, a simple phone call is what we need to start with. So what we need to do is find out, how can I get there to help this buyer? Because you know what's going to happen? If they don't work with you, they're going to go right back to failing at their dream of home ownership again. They've been doing it for a long time. They've looked at tons and tons of properties. If they do find a home they like, there's multiple offers. They're getting beat out. All I want to do is find unlisted homes, so they're the only one that knows it's for sale. They're never in a multiple offer situation, and I'm actually representing that client's best interest. So if you go this route, if you start to utilize this, it keeps you on the same side of the fence as them, so you can actually meet them in real life, become a trusted advisor, do a good job for them, and get them to the closing table. Because you know what your other option is? To keep doing it the way you've been doing it. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. No, thank you. We're not in a big hurry. We're not moving for 2 years. We don't want to waste your time. We'd like to do the search on our own. We're going to the listing agent directly. We'd like to save some money. All of the stuff that continues happening, you are doing your buyers, or those buyers, because they're not going to be yours, you're doing those buyers a disservice because you're not finding a way to meet with them so you can represent their best interest. You can do a good job for them. That's the big problem that so many agents are struggling with. Okay. And of course, you've got Mark Wright. You always have an asshole in the comments here, right? You have Mark Wright, which is saying, so you're lying again. We definitely need to have the haters of the world. I can't wait to look up all of the production levels to find out exactly where Mark is, because apparently you believe someone is lying. You always get some idiot in the comments that's going absolutely nowhere in life, that completely derails everything for the real estate agents that are actually trying to be successful and help more home buyers. You know who's going to be most thankful? The clients that get great quality agents, like all of the people that are on here right now, that are looking to actually help buyers, to get them out of their own way so they can become successful in buying a home. It is tough right now. It's getting tougher. Hell, the Department of Justice is trying to make it tougher for people to buy properties right now. This is the big issue that so many agents have, is everyone wants the information on the internet and they don't see value in what we offer. So what we're able to do is actually demonstrate value by having a real, meaningful conversation on what it is that we do for them. That's what we do. So what I'm going to do is I'll take these three, and I'm going to show you exactly how to utilize them. You can do this. And now, of course, text message, you don't want to go too awful long. You got to break it up a little bit. But if you're doing this text message, if you're doing this email, if you're doing this Facebook Messenger, which works really well. Of course, if you are on Facebook Marketplace, the only way you're able to utilize the communication with them is Messenger until you get them on the phone. Once you get them on the phone, or once they agree to a phone call, you've got their number and you can switch to text and voice, right? But Messenger at first, the only thing you get is Messenger. You don't get any of their contact info. So this is even more crucial at this point. So I'll give you these. I'll give you the top one again. I'll tell you exactly. Let me tell you the best one here is I think the third one has converted the best. They all three work well. I wouldn't give you anything if it's not tested, and I know it'll help you to grow your business. The only reason you're here, the reason you know that you're with me, first of all, I'm the no BS real estate coach. I deal with assholes like Mark Wright every single day. I talk about his mother if we need to get to that point, because that shows the assertion that we ain't got time for haters. We don't deal with that. We're here to grow our business. So what we do is we take all the agents that were first struggling in real estate and couldn't figure out how to get enough closings. And then we got them to the GLMC award, where they become a member of the Greg Luther Millionaire Club, meaning they have a net worth of over $1 million. And then we smear it right in their nose, like a dog that pooped on the carpet. We'll just smear his nose right in it so he realizes he's still doing things wrong in life. That is the type of coach that real successful people are looking for. Anyway, back to better response number 3. Let me read this to you again. Well, we might need to create a little workaround for you here so you can see the pre-market properties. Our broker wants us to meet potential home buyers in person before getting them access. But with the quality of publicly listed homes being so low, of course, we are swarmed with interested buyers. I simply can't find time to meet you in person here, but I want you to get access so you can see perfect matches. I suppose a quick Zoom video or even phone call would work. I can get details from you on exactly what you want, and we'll show you how we get you access. Only takes 5 minutes if you're okay with that, instead of meeting in person. Now, one of the reasons this is so important is you look at the lead flow that so many of our agents are getting here. Those of you that are with Famous Agent with us, we're probably averaging 12 to 18. I was going to say 15 to 20, but let's say 12 to 18 leads a day. If you've got your ad spin turned on, you're getting 12 to 18 leads a day. You don't have the time to meet with tons and tons and tons of people, particularly if some of them are, you know, the crap you get. Do you have Section 8? Do you guys do lease rentals? Can you do a rent to own? All of the crap that's out there, you got to find a way to sift through that and make sure you've got qualified prospects. So there is no time to try to meet with everybody. You can do a more effective job if you have a good qualifier like this to have a meaningful conversation with them, flush out the really good ones so you can spend the time you need in order to convert them. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense there. A couple of things I do want to share with you as well, and I will get this loaded on the member site. You'll see this on later today, all 3 of these better responses. You'll see it on the member site today for those of you that are coaching members. By the way, make sure you are following this page and you turn on notifications. That's the only way you're going to know. I've got a video coming out today or tomorrow. I'll be posting a video on our page here. You can see we have almost 1,000 training videos. And by the way, Inner Circle coaching is closed. You cannot sign up for Inner Circle. The enrollment period is closed. Many of you know a couple of weeks ago, I just stopped selling stuff to agents. I got plenty of agents. We got plenty of members. We're doing very, very well. And I don't have to deal with assholes like Mark Wright. I just deal with the people that actually want to grow their business. So I stopped selling. You cannot get involved. But those of you that are involved, you can download that information. It'll be on probably by 4 o'clock today. But what I started to say, make sure you're following the page, because the video that I'll be loading likely later today will also help you. And it's going to talk about what we're doing on next week's coaching call. Next Thursday, I believe that's the 25th. But next Thursday, whatever that is our next Inner Circle call. I've had so many agents asking how we're doing these loan acquisitions, right? These assumable mortgages. I shouldn't say loan acquisitions. It's a loan assumption. There's so many buyers that are upset about the 7% rates, and I want to wait till rates go down. What if we just get you a home right now at 3%? What if we get you a home right now at 4%? The way this started, and I'll talk about it on next week's coaching call, the way this started is one of our coaching members just got a deal done for himself at 2.625. He was able to assume that mortgage of the person that lived there at 2.625. Now, this brings up a whole lot of normal problems. These take forever. Sometimes they don't go through. What happens if it's a VA deal? What happens if it's an FHA deal? What if the VA buyer is not VA approved? All of that stuff everybody worries about. Man, we are doing this all over the country. And if you're trained correctly on how to first get those people, find a place for them to move to, and then assume that loan, game changer for you in converting leads. It works for you in getting more sellers. It works for you in getting more buyers. It works for you in generating a lot more closings. So what I've decided to do, I was talking about a little bit on Facebook, and we had a few thousand agents that commented or messaged me or liked the post or whatever, said, I want more information on this. I was going to kind of do like a 10-minute video on it. I decided to do a full training and offer it total. Like if you go and you look in the comments on Facebook, you will see so many people. Can I buy this? Can you sell this to me? No, I'm just giving it to all my coaching members for free. I'm good. I don't need to worry about how do I make money from people. If you're involved with me, you're getting it for free. Next Thursday, I'm going to show you the postcard, the sales letter, the conversion email campaigns we're using, what you should be saying when you go to the appointment with the seller. When the seller says, well, that's great that I could do this, and I don't want to lose my 3.5% to go buy a home at 7%. How do you handle all of that? I'm going to walk you through that process. If you are not an Inner Circle member, you can go on the waiting list, but there's no way for you to get involved right now. The waiting list is getting longer. I would recommend you get in at the beginning, not at the end. lutherinnercircle.com. If you go there, just put you on the waiting list. There's no way for you to sign up with me, but it will put you on the waiting list. So if any openings come up, like if I find out this jerk here is a member, he's going to be gone. And that means someone else will get in his spot and can get to GLMC membership. Because I do periodically kick people out for ignorant issues. So anyway, that is coming up Thursday, the 25th, I believe it is. But all of you will get notifications and the link and all that. We do those live on Zoom. But the video that I'm going to be putting out later today or tomorrow, depending on when our editing team gets done with it, that will go out to you via YouTube, and you'll want to make sure you are following this page. Now, my recommendation to you, if you are getting value out of this type of stuff, is to not only, I was wondering if I was going to say this or not. I probably won't. Not only follow this stuff, but share this with other agents too. I think one of the big benefits and one of the big growth that we're seeing here is so many agents put a cap on their own learning, because they're always sitting there like, oh, this dude's trying to sell me something. Oh, he's trying to sell something. Oh, I know he just wants me to sign up for his course. And I think they sit there with that crap going on in their mind. You are a lot more open when you realize that's not the case. For a whole lot of agents, if I took every single thing they owned, it wouldn't be 1/100th of 1% of help for me. So I said, you know what? Let me just help absolutely everybody with no intentions otherwise, but to help you in getting lots of closings. I'm good. Our membership is totally full. We're fine. So share this with other agents. I think with some of the stuff we're starting to do, we've made a lot of contacts based on the VA situation going on right now, that they may not be able to pay buyer agents, and all of the crap that's going on right now. We've got a big voice, and we've got a lot of agents, and frankly, I'm doing everything I can to not call on 100,000 real estate agents to show up in Washington, D.C. So we'll see what happens. But there's an awful lot of agents waiting to say, what do we do? I'm not going to be the one to sit back and say, well, nothing's changed. I'm not changing anything until they tell me what they did to me in July. Really? Really? That's what you're going to do? Not us. So we're trying to speak to the people that matter, get the top producing agents to write a well-worded letter on, here's why you need to consider this. Right now, I believe the VA will make some changes as far as how compensation will work to the buyer's agent. So, because obviously we know veterans deserve to have representation, and they are not allowed to pay for a buyer's agent. They're not allowed to. So we're hoping that that's going to be changed here. But I think top producing agents are really doing a great job at trying to create a compelling message without being combative. And that's really what we're trying to do. That's why we haven't gotten everybody involved, because it may not go as well that way. So with that in mind, a couple of things I do wanted to give you. I do wanted to give you regarding announcements today. Next Thursday is going to be the assumable mortgages training. I'll show you how to find those. Many of you saw with the post online. I was able to acquire a list of every homeowner that has an assumable mortgage under 4%, and they have less than $50,000 in equity. Now, I narrowed that down to 30,000, but it depends on your price range, the area price range, what your median price range is. But I want them to have less than $50,000 in equity in order to make this work, of course. I'll show you why that is and how that is for all of you that are coaching members. That only goes out to coaching members. It will be on a private Zoom if you are an Inner Circle member. And of course, if you're not, you can get on the waiting list. And if a spot, I believe one spot will come open today. But if a spot does come open, you will get a place in line there. lutherinnercircle.com. Okay. The better responses we're talking about on your online conversion. I want you utilizing this, and I want you to try using it. Go back to your old leads. Go back to leads you spend a lot of money for, Zillow, Realtor.com, broker leads, whatever. Go back to those leads. See if you can re-engage them, but keep in mind, don't say this crap first. You got to get them on the hook. So I can do this and this and this and this. Does that sound good to you? Yeah, that sounds great. Then you'll use these responses. Okay. Don't use it as the first one out of the gate. You got to get them to opt in and say, yes, I'd like more information on this. That's really the key factor here. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful for you today, and the morning meeting has been helpful for you as well. Make sure you're following here, and do me a favor, share this with other agents. I think you'll find if you go to the browser bar at the top right here, copy and paste this long thing that you see once it comes available on YouTube, and share this with other agents. I think you'll find it'll make a big impact. We are creating an impact with an awful lot of agents that want to survive here. There's going to be a bunch of them that don't. But for those that are wanting to survive, I want to provide as much helpful content as we can. Get your mind right, get your focus right, get your representation right, keep your moral and your ethics and everything else exactly where they need to be, and do a better job of explanation and presentation with buyers and sellers. You're going to do very well. Nearly 85-90% of what we do is focused on getting listings in today's market, but a lot of that has always been designed because buyers are a natural byproduct of a really good listing business. If you have a really good listing business, buyers are a natural byproduct of that. However, if you're not converting them the right way, you're not going to do well. Okay. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Any questions at all that you have, feel free to reach out to us here. Again, you can get on the waiting list, lutherinnercircle.com. If there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. But we got some good stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. Nobody is teaching this kind of stuff right here because they aren't meeting individually, one-on-one with thousands and thousands of agents and asking for screenshots. Let's find out where we're losing these deals. You know what most people do? Hire on a bunch of coaches and have them coach so they can get the profit. No, I work with my people. And I'll say, send me 20 conversations so I can see where the deal is dying, and we will plug in a fix for this so you start closing more deals. And man, we plug in these three and agents are closing crazy amounts of business. That is how you repair your real estate business and you start to believe in real estate sales again. Thanks so much for joining today. I'm Greg Luther, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye for now.